Hello and welcome back. This is another tutorial and another video that we are going to look on the main topic, which will be building and deploy your first Laravel 11 API. So in this tutorial, I'll show you a lot of things, but the main thing is to give you the concept of how you are going to build the API from scratch and how you are going to deploy it using Laravel 11. And this tutorial will be a beginner friendly for those who have never been able to do API development and they don't know even how to deploy them. This tutorial will be helpful, and actually I'll start from the definition of what is an API. You need to understand what is an API, why do we use API, and then know what are some of the features that your API must have. We are going to look on the ways that you are going to use to secure your API. This is just for the beginners friendly, so I'll just make sure that even if you don't have any basic concept about API, you will be on the same phase as other developers. Okay, so first of all, let's see here are the things that we are going to cover on this video. So we're going to have the introduction to APIs. Then we are going to look on how we are going to set up the Laravel project that is going to help us to build the API. Then we are going to see the concept of API authentication and authorization. Here we are going to look on how we can secure our API endpoints. And then we are going to look on how you are going to code your first Laravel 11 API. And the last but not least, I think we are going to look on how we can deploy our API so that it can be consumable. Okay, when I'm saying it can be consumable, meaning that it can be used by the other applications, so that you, for example, you can use it to build your, let's say, front-end application like React.js. You can use that API to build the React.js as your backend. Also, you can use it to build a mobile application. So that is all about the meaning of consuming Laravel API. Also, on the conclusion, I'm going to give you some of the tips that you can use them just to make your API to be consumable. Maybe how you are going to continue the developing of APIs to the advanced level. So simply because this video is just for the beginners, to make them aware of what is an API, how you are going to set up your Laravel application to be able to build the API, authentication, actually to code and deploy it. So this is for the beginner friendly. So let's start with the first part, which is building an introduction to API. So I'm Shadrach. So I'll be your tutor on this video. So I would like to welcome you guys. And if you are new to the channel, consider to subscribe to my channel. Consider to share my videos, like them, and comment if you face any challenge. And I'll be there to respond to your comment or anything. And I've provided my contact there on my channel description. So if you find anything that is maybe a challenge, you can just call me, you can just WhatsApp me, you can just send me an email. I'm actually available right now. I can reply to a comment and anything. So let's start with this one. So the first thing we are going to look on the concept of what is an API, for example, if you ask me. So basically, an API, we can say it stands for the application programming interface. And what does it mean actually? API is basically, we can say, it allows different software applications to communicate with each other. In simple terms, an API defines how request and response should be structured between a client, which can be a mobile application, and a server, which can be a web application. So that is a simple definition or a simple example that I can give you. So basically, that is all about the API introduction. So if you need to find more explanation of API, like, okay, so other definitions of API, the concept of the origin and something like that, you can just go around and look on that on it. But for the sake of the video, that will be a simple explanation that I can give you. So the next thing, let's see on why we are using APIs. So basically, API allow developers to create reusable and modular services, meaning that you can be able to create reusable applications. So that is the simplest thing, because when you create an API, meaning that you can reuse it on different applications. Maybe you are building a mobile application, and you also at the same time you are building a web application. So you can reuse the same API, and then that API can power your, let's say you are building a React.js application and also the Flat application for the mobile. So the same API can be reusable on the two applications. So that is all about the reusability. Also, it enables the integration with third-party services. So whenever you're building an application, sometimes you require maybe to integrate payment integrations. You see, so those payment integrations are being enabled by API to be able to integrate to our system. Let's say we are building a Laravel application or an e-commerce application using Laravel. But in order for our application to be able to accept payments, we need to integrate a Laravel application with third-party service like, let's say, PayPal. So from PayPal, meaning that you are going to integrate with your Laravel application through the API. So this is all about integration with the third parties from your application. Okay. So also, as I've said before, APIs support multiple clients. So it supports multiple client application. Let's say you have more than one client application. Let's say you are building a web application that you are using, let's say React or Vue.js. So your backend may be an API that you build with the Laravel applications. Also, you can have a mobile application that is using the same API that you've built with Laravel, and also you can you can create a desktop application that maybe reuse the same API from Laravel. So, but also you can say API help us to separate the backend, which is our server logic, from the front end or the client logic. So this is all about having the distinction between the front end and the back end, or the server and the client. So when you are building a Laravel application, maybe you are building a React.js and you want to use Laravel as your backend, meaning that the React.js can be your client and the Laravel API can be your server. So the logic of the server will rely on the Laravel API, and the logic for the front end will rely on the React.js. So that is all about the introduction of API. So the next thing, I want to go direct and see how we are going to set up our Laravel application in order for us to be able to build the API. So let's go and start with that one. All right, so this is the part that we are going to see on how you are going to set up your Laravel 11 project for API development. So concerning this one, I'm going to create a fresh Laravel application, and then we are going to set it up so that it can enable us to create some APIs. And then from there, we are going to look on how we are going to build the API. And then lastly, we are going to see on how we can deploy our API. So for the sake of our time, let's go direct to the coding part. So from there, what I want to do, I want to create a Laravel application. So I'll navigate to my XAMPP, simply because I'm using XAMPP as my server. So I'm going to build a new application right here. So let me open it on my Git bash right here. So from Git bash here, I'm going to run the following command. So let me zoom it a little bit so that you can see the command that I'm writing. So let's start with this one. So we are going to say Laravel new. Then we are going to give the name of our Laravel application, which will be, I'll call it Laravel 11 API. Okay, so this is going to ask us maybe if we want to install any starter kit. So for the sake of this application, I'm going to say none. And then for the test, we are going to use PHP unit. I'll say yes. Okay, so after that, our Laravel application will be created. So let's wait for that, and then we are going to continue. So you can see it is generating optimized the autoload files. So let's wait for that. So right here, as you can see, right now it has generated the optimized the autoload files. So right here, it is asking me for which database I'm going to use. So I'll just choose MySQL simply because I'm using MySQL as my database. And then I'll just say yes. But basically you need to turn on your XAMPP. So let me start up my XAMPP right here. Okay, so started the Apache and MySQL servers. Okay, so then I'm going to say yes. And then our application will be ready for us to be able to run it. So to do that, let's go to this directory, which is Laravel 11 API, and then let's open it on VS Code. So right here is our VS Code. So let me try to zoom it a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, so after we've been successful to create our Laravel 11 API application, so what we need to do, and basically Laravel 11 API is not enabled by default on your Laravel 11 application. From the previous version of Laravel, it was there, and when you will be visiting this routes directory, you are finding the api.php file here. But for this Laravel 11 version, the API is not here by default. So if it's not here, what you need to do, you need just to install it. So before installing the API for our application, what I need to do, I'm just going to give you a simple summary of what is going on Laravel 11. So basically, let's go here in Laravel documentation. Here you will see this is Laravel Sanctum. So when you come here and search for the Laravel Sanctum, you will get to this page. And when you go down here a little bit, you can see Laravel Sanctum provide a featherweight authentication system for single page applications and for mobile application and simple token based APIs. So Sanctum allows each user of your application to generate multiple API tokens for their account, but that is a little bit not our concern. So you need to understand that thing. But right here, as you can see, you may install Laravel Sanctum via the install API. So when you run this command, which is right here, is when your Laravel 11 application is going to add the api.php file here inside the routes directory. So this will enable you to create your or to build your Laravel 11 API, and Sanctum will be available for your application to be able to generate tokens. Those tokens will be used for the authentication of your API. So when you are creating an API, as you can see, Sanctum will help you to create the authentication for your APIs, and any of your user may be able to generate the API token that will be used to authorize them when they want to access any of your API endpoint. So that is only the thing that you need to know on Laravel 11. So make sure when you are coming to this documentation, make sure here the version is Laravel 11. So when you go back to previous versions, this is quite different. So for Laravel 11, let's go with this one. So let's copy this command and let's go to our terminal right here. So just see, you can just come here and open terminal, so the new terminal. And if you want to use the shortcut, you can just see hold the control and then J. This will open the terminal right here, which is right here. So this is our terminal. And then let me squeeze this a little bit. And then let's copy, paste the command, which is this one, php @install API. So let's see. So you can see it is installing the API. And then you can see it is generating optimized the outload file. So let's wait for it. And when it will be complete, then you can continue the API authentication. Simply because the API authentication, we are going to use Sanctum. So this will be a very straightforward thing. So for this video, actually, simply it is for the beginner's sake. So I'm going to use Sanctum. But for the next video, that will be the advanced one. I'm going to use JWT, which is JSON Web token. So we are going to use that one for the advanced one. So for this, we are going just to use the Sanctum. So here it will ask you if you want to run all the pending database migration. So I'll just say yes. Okay, so that is done. Okay, it just generated this table, which is access token table, which is personal access tokens table. Actually, it stores all the access tokens, which is APIs token. So after that, let me clear my terminal. And then let me run my application. I'll say php @save. So our application is up and running, and I'm going to open another terminal, which is this one. And then after that, you can see there is some of the files that have been added to your application. If you can see, if you go to composer.json, you can see here Laravel Sanctum version 4 have been added to your application. But also, you can see here api.php file has been generated automatically with that command. So as you can see here, the middleware which is using for let's say for authorizing this or for authenticating this route of your API endpoint, it is using Sanctum. So you can see auth then Sanctum. So meaning that Sanctum is being used as a authentication for your API endpoints. So also you can see on database right here, we've added one of the migration, which is this one, which will store the tokens. Okay, you can see the abilities, last used that, expires that, and something like that. But also on configuration, you can see there is Sanctum right here, and then here you can just change any of these details if you want to meet your requirement. You can see you can change the expiration of your tokens. Then you can just add the prefix of your tokens maybe if you want. Then in the middlewares, as it's in there. But for me, I will not do anything concerning the configuration. I think the default ones will be enough for us. So after doing that, what we need to do, the next thing that we need to do, as I've said before, we need to be able to authenticate users to our application. So what we need to do, we need to be able to register users, to the users to be able to log in, and the users to be able to log out, even to access their details or their profiles details from API. So that is what we are going to build on the concept of authentication, as I've said in our previous slide. So then after that, we are going to build our real API. So that we are in this video, we are going to create a blog application API. So for the authentication, we are just going to build it now, but for the blog, we are going to build it after authentication. So let's start with the authentication right now, and then later on, we are going to see how we are going to build the blog API. So to before further ado, let me start by confirming that on your model, which is a user model right here, you need to make sure that the user model is actually using the has API tokens. So you need to add that one, which is right here. So let's say has API tokens, and then this will add this one. So if it does not add it automatically, make sure you add this one, which is used to import the sanctum to a user model. So make sure you do that one before going any further, because that is very important. That can enable your user model class to be able to access the API tokens. So this is very important, please, and make sure you do that one. So after that, what we need to do, we need just to create the authentication controller, which will control our application. So for doing that, let me just commit this one. So I just say added, let's say created a new application. So this is just for those who want even to understand a little about Git. So let me just add this commit and added the sanctum for API authentication. So let me commit this one, and then let's publish this branch. So I'll keep it public, so that you guys, you can be able to go and visit and see my codes. If you you find anything that is making you to be not be able to see the or you find any challenge, you can have the reference. So if right now I go to my GitHub, you can see this repository. So the repository will be available right here. So let me go to my repositories. And then you can see the repository has been added, which is this one. So if you open it, now you can see this is an last commit that I've done. So you guys, you can be able to get all the source code from here. So after that, let me create my authentication controller. So PHP @make controller. Then we are going to call it app controller. So as you can see, our controller has been created successfully. And then after that, we need to implement the registration and login functionality from our application. So to do that, let's go to our controller and then start to implement that one. So auth controller. Then inside here, we are going to create a public function, which we are going to call it register. Then inside it, what we'll do right here, as normal, we need to authenticate our user before adding him or her to our database, right? So if that's so we are going to say the validated data, which we will store it in that variable, will be coming from the request. And then in that request, we are going to validate it. Validate, and this one should be a function. Okay. So inside it, we are going to pass all the required variables, all the field that is coming from API endpoint. So here you need to add this request help function, which is request. Okay, so this will be able to authenticate or to validate our API endpoints. So after that, we are going just to be able to add the data in our user model. So as you can see, the user model right here, you can see it has the name, the email, and the password. So we need just to validate those three fields. So here we'll have the name. So we just say the name will be required, and it will be a string. And then you can just say the maximum can be 255. Then we are going to repeat the same procedure for the email, which will be required will be string, and actually it will be an email, or like that way. And we can just say it can be unique for our users table, so you can just say unique, and then for our users table. Okay, after that we are going to validate our password. So the password, we are going to say it will be required, it will be string. So we can just say the minimum one can be, let's say 6. Okay, you can just put it in whatever way that you want, that you see it fits you. And then we are going to say like it need to be confirmed. So meaning that the user must re-enter the password, so must confirm the password that they put it. Then after that, we need to register our new user. So we are going to say user will be equal to user, which is our model. And then we are going to say create. And then inside here, we are going to, let's say, actually we need to pass this data, the name. So just say name, and then we are going to get the validated data. So we are going to say validated, and then we are going to access the name. Okay, comma, and then we are going to assign email from the email which is coming from right here. And then for the password, the same way, password. Then here, before accessing the plain password, we need to hash it. So to hash it, you just need to use the helper function of hash. So just call it hash, and then make. And then inside that make, we are going to pass our password. So let's scroll that one right here. And then it will look like this. So this will hash our password and make the password to be hashed. So after that, what we need to do is actually we need to generate the token which will be accessible by our user. So to do that, after making sure that we have inserted our user and registered it's successful, so to create a token, we can just create the variable which is called the token right here, and then we are going to access the user that we have created him from here. Okay, so then what we need to do, we need to call this function which is called the create token, and then from there you need to pass the name of your token. So for me, I'll just say authentication token, and then you need to say we need to access it as a plain text token. Okay, so after that we'll be able to access this token, and then what we need to return to our user. Remember, in any API endpoint, we need to return a certain thing. So here, what we are returning, we are just going to return the response, not rescue, response. Okay, So in our response right here, we are going to return our response in JSON format. Okay. And this is ideal for API in order for your user to see a good returned response. It is recommended to return the response in JSON so that they can be able to, let's say, access the data in a simplified way. So here I'll say the access token will be our token, which is right here, which we have created right here. Okay, and then what we need to return again, you can just say like, okay, I want to return the detail of my user. Okay, so to return the details of user, so what we can do, we can just say user, and we can just return our user right here, and then this will contain all the details of our user. Okay, and then the one of the extra thing that we need to do is just to return the response, which response status code, which you can just define it on your own. So for me, I'll just put this 200, which is default. Even if you don't put here, it will be 200. So let me just put it here in order for us to be clear. So this, if you get this one, meaning that API is working fine. For now, I'll not handle any error right here, but if any error happens, then we need to find a way to return those errors. For now, I'll just leave it like this way, okay? And then we need to be able to test this functionality if it works. So to do that, let's go to route api.php, and then what we need to do, we need to create a route here, which will be again, let's say, can be a post. Okay, it is supposed to be a post so that the user can submit their data, and then here we are going to call the auth controller, and then we are going to call the function which is called the register, and then we need to pause it right that way. Okay, so now this will be available right now for our user to be able to access it. So what we need to do, the one thing that you need to know and you need to understand, when you create the API, if you want to test that this path or this API endpoint is working, you need to have what we call a client for you to be able to access those APIs. So I'll just use a simple client which is found inside your VS Code. So this is just an extension. So go to extensions and then search for this extension, which is called the Thunder client, which is this one. Okay, so for me, I've just installed it. So for you, you need just to be able to install it right here, and then this one will be available. So when it will be available, it will be found right here. You can see Thunder client. But also you can just install Postman. You can just install Postman as a separate application, which is a standalone application, which is available right here. You can just search for Postman, and then you can just go here and download the Postman if you want to do this standalone application. So you can use it like this way, as you can see, and it will be very good for you. But for the sake of this video, because I don't want us to be able to start to configure that Postman, I just use this Thunder client simply because it is a lightweight REST API client for VS Code. So this is why I use it. So for now, let's go direct and see what we can do with this Thunder client. So after installing it successful, make sure it is added right here and you can be able to start it. So after adding that successful, what we need to do, we need to check if this works. So if to check that one, let's go and open Thunder client. You can see Thunder client will open right here, and you can just add here the new request that you want to test. So for now, I'll just add the new request right here. But later on, I'm going to show you how we are going to organize our API requests in a collections. So these collections is like creating the directory, and inside it you are going to create different APIs. So for now, let's just add the simplest API request, which is this one. So let me just create here. You can see here it has given you the default one, but we are going to remove that one, and then we are going to use our applications API endpoint. So here you can see our application is running on this path. So we are going to use this path right here. So come here and remove this one. So it will be up to right here. And then also remove this S because this one is on HTTP, not HTTPS. Then after that, we are going to add 127.0.0.1 and then full colon, and then 800, which is our port, as you can see. And then from there, in order for you to be able to access your API endpoint, since it is found here on the api.php, which is right here, you need to add here the prefix of API and then the name of your or the API endpoint. So this is essentially and it is actually the must thing to do. So you need to add this prefix of API in order for you to access the router, which is found right here. If you not put this API right here, Laravel application will assume that you are trying to access the web route, which is found right here. So this is wrong. So make sure to add this API prefix right here and then access the route that you want. So this is done for now. So now what we can do, as you can see right here, the method that I'm using is get, but actually right here you can see it is posted. So I want you to see what will happen here. If you try to send this request to our server, what will happen? It will say like this is not supported because the supported one is a post. So let's try to send that one. Now let's see the response. Now you can see it has returned something like this. And now you can see here you have the status, which is saying 4 or 5, and then it says method not allowed. So now if you scroll down here, you can just see a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, you will see it will just say that method is not allowed. So after knowing that, it is essential for you to be able to understand each method that you are using on your route, and it should be reflected here. So now we are going to put here a post, and then what we need to do, we need just to send that request and see what will happen. Okay, so this is saying the method is not allowed. Okay, so what we need to do, simply because we have this one, okay, so as you can see right here, we have just put here the right method, but still we are getting 4 or 5, which is method not allowed. And this is actually because we have not provided any of the field which is required. As you can see right here, we need to have this field in order for us to be able to register our user. So by using this an older way of adding your, let's say, of validating your users on your API endpoint by just providing the path here without providing the parameters right here on your query, this will always give you this error, and it will not give you the validation error. So this is true. So let me just show you. If you will provide here the parameters, this error will gone. So we need to find a way to make sure that even if you don't provide anything right here, it should tell us that we need to provide the parameters right here, not for us to be able to add them without knowing that. So here we are going to change this way. So for now, I just want to show you that if we provide here the parameters, it will work. So if we say what we are required here is just the name, email, and password, which need to be confirmed. So let's provide that then. So let's say name, we are going to say Shadrach. Then the email, we are just going to say shadrach@gmail.com, and then the password, we would say 123456, and then password confirmation underscore confirmation. It will be the same as the one right there, and then let's see what will happen, and then send. And boom, now you can see it has returned us with the status code of 200, which is okay. And then you can see the size of your request, the time that it has taken, and I don't know why it has taken long, so maybe later on it will improve. And now you can see we have the access token, which is our token that we have returned right here. Okay, so this one, which we have passed right here. Okay, as you can see, this is a personal access token which we have created, and now you can see we can access the details of our user. So you can see we have the ID for our user, we have the name, we have the email, we have the time that we have updated, and the time that we've created. So this is working fine, but the problem is why does it not tell us that we need to provide these parameters on our query in order for us to be able to register our user? So to improve this, we are going to change this validation and to use the validator method, which I think it will be better to use that one instead of using this simple method. So I'll just comment this one. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to use the validator right here. So let's start by adding the validator right here. So we'll just have the same validated data right here. And then we are going to say, and then right here, we are going to add this validator. Okay, and then we need to say make, and then inside it, we are going to pass our request. And then we are going to access all of our request details, and then we are going to access them right here, and then we are going to do the same thing that we were doing right here. So let's copy this one simply because it's the same thing. Okay, so after that, let's uncomment this one and also this one, and then we are going to have something like this. So make sure to import this one. So right here, you need to add this one, which is support facade. Okay, and then after adding it, make sure you import it right here as I've done. So after doing that, what we need to do, we just need to do the following. We need to check if there is any error from the validator. So what we need to do, we're just going to say validated. If there is any fails, okay, if any of the validation fails, what we need to do, we need to return a response. We need to return a response, which will be JSON, and then we are going to say validated. Then we get the errors that are found. So from this, we can just say, okay, after getting this error, we can just return this status code. And I'm not sure if this is a correct status code, but you can just define it on yourself. And actually, there is special errors for the validation. So I'll just use this one, but make sure if it is the right one on your own time. So after doing that, so what we can do down here, So instead of accessing it from the validated as we were doing here up, what we need to do right now, we are going just to say we access the details from our request, simply because if there will be any error, it will be captured right here. So when we access the data down here, we are 100% sure that the data that we need, simply because all the data unwanted will be filtered right here. So here we can just access the data from the request. So here we can just access the name as usual, and then down here we can just access the email. So we can just access the email, and on the password, basically we are going to access the password. So here we can just say password, and then remove that one and also that one. Okay, so this will be fine now, and this can work perfect. But also I want us to be able to capture any error that is rising when we are trying to execute this functionality. So to do that, I've just added the try and catch right here. So let's just copy all of this code and then paste it on our try block down, which, as you can see, this is inside the try block. And then on catch, we can just say exception, which will be exception right here. You can just rename it as exception like this one. And then what you need to do, you can just return another response right here. And then this will be our JSON response. So let's just say JSON. And then what we can say, we'll just say we have an error. Okay, and then what error did we get? So basically we will tell the error from exception. So we just get the message. So this will return the error that has arisen while executing our code right here. So I think now this will work successful. So let me just adjust my zooming right here so that you can see the whole code. So the code has started here, we have validated here. So I'm just going slow on this process simply because on the next thing we are going just to repeat the same procedure. So I will go very fast. So for now, try to understand this thing as I'm showing right here. This is how the thing will work. So now what we need to do in order to test that functionality, so let me just go back here and try to remove these parameters. And now if we try to, let's say, clear the data from our database, so we can just run migration fresh to remove the existing user. So let's run migrate fresh. So meaning that this will destroy all the data in our database and create the new users. Okay, so now you can see it has dropped all the tables and then recreate those tables. So now when we will go to our database right here, so let's see on our database what we got. So here is PHP my admin, and then let's go to our Laravel 11 API, which is this one. And then you can see on our users table, we don't have any user. So to test adding our new user, so we have not passed any parameter right here. And then let's see what will be our response down here. So let's send this. And then now you can see we have the status code, and then you can see unprocessable content. This is the status code that we put right here. So please make sure and check the status code for validation error. So basically you can just Google right here. So this is just simple. So you can just say status code for validation. Now you can see it is 4 or 3. Okay, so this is the simplest way you can know the status code for all your your responses that you want to return it to your users. So right here, we can just say, we can just put the same error, because this can catch the error of inserting the user. So we can just also search for that one. So for registering user, let's say registering for registering user. Okay, so you can just put, I think for that one you can just find it. So I'll just leave that way with 4 or 3, and then this one will be fine for me. So now if you try to resend again, you can see 4 or 3, meaning that you can see here the error. It says like the name field is required. You can see the email field is required, the password is required, and so on. So what we need to do, we just need to provide those parameters right here. So we can just say the name, and then we can give the name. So as I said before, we are going to add the Shadrach right here. We can just say email, and then we are going to have shadrach@gmail.com, and then the password right here, and then we can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But actually we've said the minimum should be 6. So if right now we try to insert, you can see the password field must be at least 6 characters, meaning that you need to add it up to 6. So this one will work. But now we have not configured our password. Right now you can see we have this error. So now if I try to resend, you can see the password field confirmation does not match. So you need to confirm the password. So the user should add password confirmation. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which must match with this one. Okay, so then now boom, you can see 200 here, and then you can see we have the access token, and then we can have our user. So now if we go to our users table, now you can see we have this user which has been created. So if you go to personal access tokens, now you can see we have the token which is right here, and for the abilities, it has got all the abilities. So this is how simply you are going to register our users on your API, and this is basically for the simplest way that you can do. You can create the authentication process on your API endpoint. So now let's go direct and do the thing for the login. So simply because our user have been able to register, now we need to be able to make them login. So to do that, let's go and create that functionality right here. So we can just say login, and then we are going to create the public function login, and then this one should be pass the parameter of request right here, and then we keep it that way. Remember, we need to validate our users' data. That is very important thing. So we are just going to reuse this functionality right here. So let's copy that one, or I can just copy it from right here up to here. And then if we come back right here, and then we are just going to use the email for credential as a login. So we are going to remove this unique, and then we are going to say, okay, so this can be just an email. Okay, so then for the confirmation, again, we can just remove that one. I think this one will work fine. So now what we need to do, we need to create that route here. So let's just create the route, which will be login. And then here we are going to pass the function which is called the login. So pass the function right here. Now we can be able to test that route. So as you can see, now we have we need to create the new request on our Thunder client. So let's open the Thunder client right here, and now you can see our request is right here, which is this one. But you can rename this request to match something that you want. So I can just say this is for the register user. Okay, so but this one is for weather and this one is for let's say our Laravel 11 API tutorial. So we need to organize this on a different way. So to do that is where the collections come in. So here we are going to create the new collection, and then I'm going to call it Laravel 11 API. Okay, and then inside it I'm going to create the new request, which I'm going to call it login user, and then on it what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this path which is up to here. Okay, then I'm going to paste it right here, and then what we need to pass right here is this one, so which is login. So we just come here and pass the login there, and then what we need to do, we need to test if this validation is working fine. So to do that, let's go back here and try to send the request. Now you can see it will say the method is not supported, actually, because here we put the get. So I think this one is already known, so just change that one to post and then we send. Now you can see the email and the password are required. So validation is working fine. So now what we need to do, we need to create a way for our user to be able to log in. So to do that, let's go direct and start to implement the login application. So to do that, we need to add the try and catch right here in order to catch any error if exists. So we can just say exception, and now let's say inside it, if it will be an exception, we can just return something like this, okay, which I think is reusable. So we can just put it right there. So this one should be th right there, simply because I have not changed this one, and this is just a variable that will hold all the exceptions. So just put it that way, and then inside the try is where we are going to be able to authenticate our users. So here what we need to do, we need to get this validated data. Okay, so after getting the validated data, what we are going to do, I'm going to create a simple after validation, I'm going to create a simple variable which I'm going to say credentials, and then this will be an array. So then on this array, I'm going to pass the email, and then I'm going to access the email from my request. So right here it will be this way. So I'm going to say request and then email, and then I'm going to pass the password. And then for the password, it will access the password from my request. Password. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it inside here. So I'm going to say if, and this is where actually the authentication is being done. So I'm going to say if not authentication of, actually we are going to do the attempt right here. So we are going to attempt to authenticate credentials actually. So we are going to pass the credentials, which is this one that we have created right here. So we are going to say credentials right there, and then what we need to do, if this will not work or it will fail, okay, if it will fail, so what we need to do, we need to return an error to our users to say like, okay, so the credential that we've accessed right here is not correct. So here is the message. So we are going to say error, and then we are going to pass here the error message. So I'm going to say the credentials. Let's just say invalid credentials. Okay, so this error right here, it is saying like this method is not defined, but actually I think this one is just the error-ends extension is doing it. So, but this is working fine. Basically, it is accessible from this function right here. So after doing that, then if this will not work, it will just give us an error. But if it works down here, what we need to do, we need to get the user that have the email that we have used right here. So we are going to get the user, and then we are going to say that user will be found by saying where the email will be equal to our request email, and then we are going to say first or fail, meaning that it will get the first user, and if it does not find that user, it will just fail. This will help us to avoid the error on our execution of the let's say the query. And then what we need to do, we need to create the token right here. Simply the user will be login, so we need to assign the user to the new token. So here we are going to say user, and then we are going to create the token as we did on the register functionality. So here we are going to say create token, and then the name of our token, we are just going to call it authentication token. Okay, and then we are going to access the plain text token. And then after that, we need to return the response as we did on the register right here. So let me copy this one simply because it is the same. So let me just return it right here. Okay, so this is how we are going to return that user that is authenticated. So this is basically the login. Okay, so this is how I've done it. So please make sure you do the same thing. And then after doing that, let's try to authenticate our user. So let's try to make our user being able to log in. So now you can see it has given us this error. But if we provide the email right here, and then let's provide the wrong email. So I just say email at gmail.com, and then for the password, just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then let's see. You can see invalid credentials, meaning that it has come here and this has failed, and when it fails, it just returned this error. So after doing that, let's provide the real email, which is shadrach@gmail.com, and then let's see. Now you can see we've get the access token right here, and then the user with the name, email, ID, email verified at, created at, and the updated at. So this makes that our user has been able to log in successfully. So the next thing, it will be to log out our user. So to be able to make our user to be able to log out, in order to finish this authentication, simply because I'm not going to do the password password reset for this video. I'm not going to do that. I think I'll do it on advanced one, which I'll use the JWT, which is JSON Web Token. So I'm going to do that on the next video. So for now, let's finish with the logout functionality. So let's create another function right here. And then here it will be the logout functionality. So I'm just going to create the public function logout. And then it should accept the request right here, and then we need to have the request, and then to be able to make our user unauthenticated, so we are going to say user, then token, simply because the token of our user will be stored here, and then we are going to delete it. So we need just to access the login user, n of the login user, which is our current user, which is right here. Okay, so we need to say this user, then we accept the token, and then we are going to delete that token. So when you delete that token, meaning that the user will not be able to access their tokens. So if they will not be able to access their token, meaning that that token will be invalid. So the user cannot be able to proceed with anything that it was working with. So after that, then we need to return the message. Let's say we can just return the message right here. So let me just copy this one and then return the message. Here we will not have this thing, we'll just have the message right here. So let's say message, and then we can just return the message right here, which can say user has been logged out successful. Okay, this one is working fine for now, so let's try this one, and then let's add it right here, what we need to do. But in order for you to be able to make your user log out, you need to add this route inside the sanctum auth middleware, simply because this user which is trying to log out should first be able to log in. So if the user has been able to log in, then it can be able to log out. So to do that, what we need to do, we need to create the group route here. So we are going to say route, and then group, full colon, then a group, and then inside the group we are going to pass the middleware right there. So let me just pass the function right here, and then we are going to say, let me terminate that one. But if you want to pass the middleware, you can just pass it to here like this way, and then access the group. So here the middleware, it should be this one. So let me just copy this one and then put it right here. Okay, and then what we need to do inside here, we need to create the route for logout. Okay, so here we are going to get now we are going to post, and this one should be logout. And then we need to pass our auth controller right here, and then we are going to say class then the class, which is the function, which is logout. Let me confirm, which is this one, and then it's right. So then let's terminate that one, and then this meaning that only the authenticated user will be able to log out. And this is obvious, so not authenticated user cannot be able to log out because they will not be able to log in. Okay, so to add the logout, let's go to our standard client right here, and then let's add the new request, and then we are going to say logout user. Okay, and then here we are just going to add the path, and then we are going to say logout. Okay, and then we need to pass the required post, which is our method. And remember, simply because this requires this user to be able to be logged in first, so you need to provide the authentication token here. But remember, our token from the documentation right here, I think it has been said here that the token which is generated by Sanctum is a BRR token. So where is it? I think I've seen someone somewhere here. So let's search for that. BRR. So here, as you can see, the token should be included in the authorization header as a BRR token. So this is how you are going to access your tokens. So right here, you are going to the BRR, and then here you are going to pass the token, or you are going to provide the token that you get when you are logging. So to do that, you need to access this access token from here. So copy from here up to here, and then you need to provide it on the BR and then pass it here. Okay. So after doing that, what you need to do, basically it will put here the prefix, token prefix, which is BR. Okay. So leave it that way, simply because it is required there. And then now if we click send, okay, so this has not been worked, so it's a internal server error. Let's see what is the issue right here. Okay, so let's see what can be the issue, but actually this is an internal error, so meaning that the code have an issue right here on dealing with deleting the token. So I think let's change this to current access the token. Okay, so just update this function right here, and then now let's try to log out our user. So if the BR token you have changed it, remember to update it right here, and then let's try to send. Now you can see the user has been logged out successful. So now what we need to do is that the current user has been logged out. So if the user has been logged out successful, meaning that the authentication for application or for API is working fine. So this is how simply you can create the authentication for your Laravel 11 API. So on the next part, we are going to create the blog API. So we are going to be able to add post. We are going to be able to edit post. We are going to be able to delete post. We are going to be able to retrieve all the posts. We are going to be able to view only one post, and I think from there you can be able to do any API endpoint that you want. So this is just a simple video that I've created for you guys. So let's go to the next part and see how to create our blog API for Laravel 11. So see you on the next part. Yep. So welcome back to this another session, another part. So after we've been able to register our user, login, and actually log out our users, the next part, as I've mentioned before, we are going to be able to create the blog application API. So we are going to create the API, as I've said. We are going to be able to register or to create a new blog post. We need to be able to edit the post. We need to be able to see all the posts that the user has posted, or all the users that other users have posted. Also, we need to be able to see a single blog post, and actually we need to be able to delete those posts. And basically I think we can be through after doing that. And for the beginners level, we can have the full concept of API development. So for the sake of the time, let me just come back here and let me close this one and also this one and this one. So what I'm going to do, simply because we are on the Laravel 11 API collection, so I just want to organize the APIs for the blog. I'm going to create a new folder, and the new folder name, I'm going to call it blog API, okay, which will be inside here. And then inside this, I'm going to create a new post, I mean the new request. Then I'm going to say new post, okay, and here we are going to add the new post. So right here we need to add something like this, and then we are going to pass the root here, and then this one should be post. And then let's go and find a way to add this one. So to be able to add the post and perform all the functionalities I've mentioned before, basically I'll add the functionality for someone to be able to add a comment for the certain post, and also to be able to like the post. So all of that functionality, we are going to look on it. So for right now, we need to add the table for managing all our posts. So let's create those tables with their models. So let me just start by let's create the model for the post. So let's create that one right here. So PHP at sun make model, and then we are going to call it post, and then the dash m, meaning that we are going to create with the migration of the post table. So this will create a model and the migration. Also, we need to create the one for the comment, and the last one for the like. Okay, so after that, let's clear the terminal, and then let me call that one because that one is done. So what we need to do, we need also to have the controller for that, control all the posts. So let's create the post controller. Yep. So this has been created successful. Then let's clear that one, and then let's find a way to edit our migration. So let's go and find the post. So this is our migration right here. As you can see here, we need to have the title of our post. So here we are going to have the string field, which we are going to call it title. And the second one, we need to have the content, which I will give it as a text. Simply it can be larger, so we can just give it a text field. And then we need to have the actually who has posted that field, that post. So it will be a foreign ID, and that will be user ID. Okay, and then this one should be constrained from which table, which will be our users table. And then let me just put that way, and then on delete, we can just cascade, meaning that it will delete that data from this table also. So after that, I think this one is fine now. What we need to do, we need just to go straight to our post controller and start to work with this one. So before doing that, I think we've created the one for the comment and for the likes. So let's edit them also. So let's go for the comment right here. As you can see, we'll have this ID of the user, which is relationship. So let's add it, that one there. Okay, as you can see, so this one will be the comment from this user. And then down here, we need to have the actual post So I think I can just do something like this. So I can just duplicate this one, and this one should be from posts, and then it should be post ID. So it should be post ID to know that this comment is for which user and it is for the which post. And then we need to have the actual post. So the actual comment can be on text, simply because the text can be a little bit longer, so let's keep it that way. So here it will be comment, and then what we need to do, we need to add a way for the user to like. So let me copy that one, and then let me add it to the likes table, and this will be fine for our likes table, simply because we will just count this one. So this no need to add anything other than that. And then what we need to do, we need to run the migration to create those tables. So let's say PHP at sun migrate. So this will create post, comment, and likes table. And then what we need to do, let's close this one. And actually, there is another API endpoint that you can use. For example, if you want to access the user data, the data of the user that has been logged in, you can just use this one. So this one will work fine simply because it will return the current logged in user. So that you can just test. You can just come here to Laravel API and then create a new API. So let me just minimize it a little bit. I don't know why this one's not looking good right here. So let me try again. Yep. So then I'll say get user info. So getting user info, you can just have this one, and then here you can just pass user, and then here you can see it needs to be a get right here, but it requires the user to be logged in order for him or her to access the details. So for that, let's go back here and try to, let's say, without providing any authentication from here, from BR, let's just try to access the user details. And now you can see this will give you an error. So this will not work unless otherwise you logged in. So let's log in. And then if you copy this BR token that you created, and then if you add it right here, and then let's send, now you can see you get the user details. So even this one is working, and this one is the default that the Laravel will give you by default. So this is working, and as you can see, it gives you the user details. So this is you can add it and you can use it to get user details if you want. Okay, so I'll just close that one because we don't need it right now. What we need right now is a way to be able to add the new post in our application. So to do that, simply because we have created the controller for that, let's go to that controller right here, post controller right here. As you can see, we need to add the public function. Then we can just say add new post, and then this one should have a request and then a request, and then right here what we need to do, we can just redo something that we have done for the authentication. I think with that, this way is way more better to use it. So just copy this one and then you paste it right here, and then try to import this one. Remember to import it as support facade. So import that one, make sure you add it right here. Okay, so then in our post, as you remember, we are going to have the title field, which can be required. It should be a string, and this one should be should not be an email. And then we are going to have the content. Okay, and this content should be only a string. And also remember, we need to have the user ID, which is the post belongs to which user. So user ID can be an integer. Okay, and so after doing that, what we need to do right now, we need to test if this works. So to do that, let's go and register this new API endpoint. So all of this, because it requires the user to be logged in, so we can just put inside this group. So down here, you can just say blog API endpoints starts here. Okay, and then we can just create a new route, and it should be a post, and then we can just say add post, and then this one should go to post controller, and this should go to add new post function, this one. So this will be our new route that is going to be used to add the post in your application. So right now we need to test if this works. So let's go and add this one right here and remove this one. Yeah, so this is how it looks right now. And then if you do not provide the BR token here, nothing is going to work for you. So let's go back to the login. I think right now we have this one. So let's use this one simply because it's the current logged in user. So let me close that one, and then let's go here to BR and then add this one. Okay, as you can see. So now let's try. We did not provide any data right here. So let's try to see if the validation works. And now, boom, you can see the title is required content and the user ID. So this is working fine now. And simply because that one works fine, what we need to do, we need just to add the try and catch right here in order for our code to run it without any error. And then here we need to add the post. So we are going to say like new post. Okay, and then we can just say post, then title. It will be assigned from request title, and then we can redo this one for content and for the user ID. And then for the last one, we are going to save this one. So here it will be saved, and then we terminate that way. And here we need to add the exception. And right here we have the title, we have the content, and this one should be right here also. And this one should be user ID. And the user ID, we need to access the current logged in user. So we can just say user and then access the ID. Okay, so this will assign the current logged in user, and that post will be belonging to that current logged in user. So now we need to return something here. So to be able to do that one, let's just return a response like this one. Okay, so down here we are going to say let's say message, which we can say post added successfully, and here we can just return the details of the post. So we can just say post ID maybe, just to know if the post is going to database successful. So we can just say post ID right here. So this will work, and if there is any error as we did before, you need just to print here this or to return this response. So let's return it to right here also. So this will be get message with the status, which is this one, but right here we're going to return 200. Okay, so if we go back right here, and then if we provide the title, so remember to type it as it's seen. We have the title, we have the content. Okay, so here we've missed, this should not be provided from here, so we need to remove it from the validation right here, simply because that one will be filled here automatically, so user does not need to provide it right here. Okay, so if that's so, meaning that we don't need that column right here. Okay, so what we need to do, simply because we've added the title and the content, so let's add the data here. So the title should be like, okay, this is post 1, and this one should be the content for post 1. And then let's see if we submit this, what we are going to get. So submit, and now you can see post added successful, and you can see the post ID is 1. Okay, so this is working fine. Actually, you can see the millisecond it takes, the size of the request. Okay, so we can just test another one. We can just say post 2, and then post content for the post 2, and then submit. Now you can see post 2, and the post has been added successful. So let's go to our database right here and see what we got here. Posts, and now you can see we have 2 posts right here. Okay, so this works fine, and you can see the user ID right now here. If I hover, you can see it print the name of the user, which is owner of this post. Okay, if you can just also return the post right there, instead of returning the post ID, you can just return the post. So what you can do, you can just here, instead of returning the post ID, you can just return the post right here. So, or you can just call it post data, and then add another post. So here we can just say post 3, and then post 3. So then if we post that one, and now you can see you will get here the details of your post. So if you want to return this one to API, and you want somebody to access it, this will be available, but it's not advisable to do this way actually. So for me, I'll just remove that one, simply because I don't need it to be returned. So if it just added successful, just the user will see we have the post added, and that will be enough for our user to see. So if we say tap, and now we can see the message showing that we've added the post successful. So that is all about the adding post, the validation, and also the authentication and authorization of your API endpoints. As you can see here, we have wrapped all these routes inside this middleware, which is Authentication. So this deals with all about the authentication and also the authorization. So this sanctum will just authorize this access of these API endpoints by going here and look for the authentication, and it will check this BRR token. So if the user has provided the BRR token which is not correct, the user cannot be able to access any of these API endpoints that are found inside this middleware or group. Okay, so this is how actually this thing work. So let me just close that one. So the next thing that we need to do that is just to be able to edit a post, right? So we need to add a public function right here. And here, what we need to do, we need to be able to update details of a certain post. So what we need to do here, we need to create the edit post, and it will set the request right here. Then on it, we need to validate the data of our post. So what we need to do, I just copy all of this data. So I'm copying this in order to make the video a little bit fast. So we'll validate this data, okay? And then here, instead of adding new post, what we need to do, we need to say, okay, so edited post will be equal to, let's say we need to find the post first. So we'll say post data will be equal to post, and then find, and in here we can just pass the request and then a post ID. Okay, so meaning that we are going to require this post ID. So you need to pass the ID of the post that you want to edit before editing it. So you can just pass it from the request. I'll just show you both ways, and you can also pass here as a parameter. So I'll just show you right now by passing it right here, and also by passing it on your API endpoint. So the first one will be, I'll just show you both ways. So let me just start with this way of passing it through the post parameter. So by doing that, we are going to get the post, and then we are going to update the post right here, simply because this one will create the object of this post. So we are going to update that object right here. So what you need to do, right here is just updating the title, and here the title will accept the new request title, and then the content will accept the new content. For the user ID, I don't think if we need to update that one, because that one will only remain the same, unless otherwise if you find something that forces you to update the user ID, but in most cases that one will be remain constant. So right now we can just say post updated successfully. Okay, and then now for the sake of us to see what we have updated, so here I can just say updated post. Okay, and then the updated post right here, we can just return that post that we've updated. So we can just say updated post, and that one will be here. So we can just say updated post be returned from here, and then it will be accessed from right here. So now what you need to do in order for you to be able to pass this post ID in your request, we need to add that API endpoint. So let's add that one right here. So this will be edit approach 1. So we are going to have the post route like this one. So here we'll just say edit post, and here we need to pass the function. So the function right here is edit post. So let's edit this one, and then now if we move to this one, so instead of that one, let's go to standard client, and then let's create new request, and then we can just say edit post, and then let's edit this one, remove the forward slash there, and then after that we need to provide the authentication. So let's copy the authentication right here, and then let's paste it to the BR token right here. Remember that is required simply because this path or that API endpoint is found between the auth sanctum middleware. So it requires to be authenticated like this way. And then let's try to see if they have, the validation is working. So let's send that one. And now this method is not allowed. Actually, that is true because we're using get now. Yeah, now you can see the content and the title is required. So if they are required, meaning that we need to pass them here. But what is actually another thing that we need to add for the approach 1, you need to add the user ID right here, because that one will be required. So you can just say user ID right here. No, I mean the post ID, not user ID. So this one will be that way, and then this one should be an integer. Okay, so it will be like this way. So right now, if you try again, now you can see the post ID is required. So we need to add all of this. So we're gonna add with start with the title. So right now I'm going to update the post ID, the post with the ID number 1. So I'm going to update the data. So first it was post 1, but now I'll say post 1 updated. Okay, and then here I was saying content, and then here I'll just say content for updated post 1. Okay, so post ID, you are going to pass here the ID of the post that you want to update, exactly the ID of the post that you want to update. So I just put it 1, meaning that I'm going to update the post number 1, which is right here, as you can see. The post number 1, let me just refresh, and then we can see post 1, content for post 1, and the time is this one. So to do that, let's just update right here. And here you can see it gives you this error. It says you need to add the title to the fillable property to allow mass assignment on model post. So actually this one is very important. You need to do that thing before starting to updating any data. So as you can see on user model, actually that is already done for you. As you can see, it has the fillable. So you need to do the same thing to your post model or to any model that you want to update its data. So let's just add the fillable, and then here we need to add the title, simply because that is the column that we have, and then we are going to have the content, and then we are going to have the the user ID, right? So after doing this, meaning that that post edit will work now. So let's try to send. Now you can see post updated, and then updated post, you can see it is true. Okay, so this is working fine now. Now you can see this has returned true, and then if it returns true, meaning that this post has been updated successful. So if we see now from database right now, you can see post 1 updated, content for updated post 1, and then you can see this is actually working fine. So what we need to do right now, we need to be able to see the list of all of these details. Before we delete, we need to see the list of all of these posts. So to do that, we need to add the functionality for that right here. So we can just say retrieve all posts. So down here, I'm gonna find this function, which I say get all posts. So here, what you need to do, just add a try and catch right here, and then what we need to do, we can say posts will be equals to post, which is our model, and then we are going to get all posts. Okay, and then what you can do here, you can return response, and then this response should be in JSON, and then here we need to say posts will be equal, or it will be referencing the posts. Okay, so this will return all the posts, and then here you can just pass the status code, and here make sure it will catch any exception. So our exception will be, let's say, exception. Okay, and down here we can just return this one. So let me remove one of this backslash right here, and here it will be exception, right? So this will work fine for returning all the posts. So now let's create this API endpoint, and then now get all posts. Yeah, but I said that I'm going to show you the approach number 2. So let me just show you how to get all the posts first, and then on approach number 2, we are going to see how to do that thing on approach number 2. So now to get all the posts, so we are going to say route, and then this should be a get, simply because we are retrieving data, we are not submitting any data. Yeah, so here we are going to say all posts, and then we need to pass the post controller right here, and then we need to call the function, which is get all posts. So pass it right there, and then we need that one. And then if we visit this route, remember to add that one on your client right here. So inside the blog, which is we've said that we are going to use it to manage all the blog posts. So right here it is not showing good right now. So get all posts, and here we are going to say API / all posts, and then this one is a get function, and actually this one is inside the method, which is it requires a user to be logged in to access the all posts, but you can do whatever. Just for myself, I don't think if this should be inside the authenticated, because this one is just for user to access the post. So we can just put it outside right here. So meaning that any user can access this one. So this, we can say no need to authenticate. Okay. So for this one, it does not require us to put the BR token right here. So by just accessing this path, you can just access all the posts. So let's see what we have and send. Now you can see we have the post right here, and then we have the post 1, we have post 2, here we have post 3, we have post 4, and so on. So this is how actually this thing works. As you can see, this is all the posts that we need to get, and as you can see, this is how you can control your authentication. So there is some API endpoints that you want your user to access them, even for the user that they are not logged into your API application. So this one is one example of them. So the next thing, I'm going to show you the second approach for you to be able to edit your post. And what you can do here, you can just pass here the parameter, which can be post ID. So this should be approach 2. And then this one should be edit post 2. So I'm going to create that function. So let me just copy and paste this one. So let me just copy from here and paste it down here. And here we are going to say edit post approach 2. And what you need to do, you need to accept the parameter, which is post ID, because this one is being passed from here, as you can see right here. So it will be required to that function, which is edit post 2. So right here we need to accept that one, and then what you need to do, instead of accessing it from the request right here, you will just accept it as a parameter, like this way. Okay, and I think this one is working fine. So now if we can just say edit post 2, I don't think if they match with this one, yeah, so it will be that way. So now if you try to use this approach again, if you use this one, so let's just copy this one and paste it here, or let's just create a new post, a new request. So we are going to say approach 2, and then remember this one is a post and it requires us to be logged in. So let's add it right here, and then let me remove that one. And then here we need to pass the ID that we want to update. So I'll just go with the ID of 2. Okay. And then inside this, as you can see, this will be available. So after this being available, then we can get that data, and then we can just update it, and then the post will be updated. So you can just pass it here, or you can just pass it inside the request. So all of this approach will work for you. So now what we need to do, we need to pass the authentication here. So let me just copy the BR token right here, and then let's go to approach 2 and then BR, and then paste that one here. And then what we need to do, then let's try. Now you can see the validation is working fine. And then now let's see, we have the title right here. Yeah, so now you can see the post ID is required simply because I didn't remove this one, but now we need to remove that one because this one will be passed from here. So if We try again. Now you can see we require the title and the content only. So here we need to have the content, and then now we need to pass the data here. So instead of post2, so I just say post2 updated, and then content for post or updated post2, right? So here this will be the ID of our post. So now if I save, now you can see post updated successfully, simply because that post will be having the new data. Now you can see post2 updated, content for updated post2. So this is working fine actually. Okay, so after this being working fine, and we have been able to retrieve all the posts, what we need to do now, we need to be able to get only one post. So to do that, we need to just define a function right here. So let's create that function down here very quickly. So fetch single post. So we can just have the public function right here and just say get a post, get post, and this one should accept the post ID, which is a parameter. And then from there, what you need to do, we need to do a try and catch right here, and then from there we need to get the post, and then you need to find that post from the post, and then you can just say find, and here you can just pass the post ID. But this is the first approach. You can do the second approach by doing this, and here instead of using find, you can just use where and define the column, which is an ID, and then you can just get the first data. So you can just give here first, like this way, and then both this one and this one will give you the same result. And then now we can just return an error if there is any exception on running that query, as you can see. And then if there is no error, then you can just return your response to the user to show the post that you want to show to your user. So this one should be post, and this one should be post. Okay, so this will return just a single post. So this one should be th, as you can see. So now this one will work fine. So we need to define that path. So let's just add it here outside, simply because we are just getting a single post. So here I can just say single post, but we need to provide the ID of the post, specific post that you want to get. So here it will be post ID, and then the function should be get post. So here it should be get post, and then after getting that one, then we close this one, and then we close this one, also this one. So now we have something like this. And now as you can see, the path will look like this way. And then what we need to do, we need to access this path. So to do that, let's go to our client here, and then let's create that another request from Laravel API. So let's just try again, new request, and then you get a single host, and then down here we need to pass the something like this. So let's just paste it right here. So here we'll just API get post no. So I think let me copy it from here, and then let me just paste it here. I'll remove this one, and then here we need to define the ID of the post that we want to get. So let's say we want to get the post number 1. So if we say send, now you can see we get the post 1. If we provide post number 4 and now retrieve, now you can see we get the details for the post number 4. So this is how simply you can retrieve a single post. But if you want any user to access this one, it should be login. Remember to copy this one or to cut it and put it inside the this middleware. But for me, I've just put it outside because I just want everyone to be able to access this one. Okay. And actually at the end of this video, I'm going to deploy this application, and you guys, you are going to be able to test this one on your own. You are going to be able to register, you're going to be able to log in, and this is basically your playground. And I'll leave this application up for 2 weeks, and then after that I'm going to remove it from my server, so you guys will be able to test that. So I think that one is fine for now, and what we have remained with here is a way to be able to delete a post. So to delete a post, the user must be logged in. So here we can just put the delete post, okay, and then we are going to say route, then post, and then delete post. Okay, you can just use the same approach that we've used for editing. So we just say post ID right here, and then we can just call the post controller right here, and then we can just pass the name of the function for deleting your post. Simply because I have not created that function, let's go direct and create that one right here. So here we are going to say public function delete post. So simply because right here I'm passing this one, so from that request I'm going to require a parameter which will be the post ID, okay, and then what we need to do right here, so let's try catch, and then what we need to do is just to get the post like this way. So let's get that post this way and comment that one, and then what you need to do, simply because that one will be an object, so just say post, and then we are going to delete, okay, and then if everything is not going well, we are going to see an error. We are going to return an error right there, and then if everything goes well, we are going to return a success message to our API endpoint user. So here we are going to capture the exception, and here what we are going to say, we can just say post deleted successfully, okay, and then here what we need to say, this will be just a message, okay. So let's try to add this one right here, and then let's try to access this path, so, or which is actually a API endpoint. So let's create that API endpoint right here inside the blog, and then let's try to create new, and then we're going to say delete post, okay, and then now this one should be a post, and then this one should be having this path. So let me remove that one, and then here we need to pass the ID. So let me just delete the third one, and then this should require your user to be logged in. So to do that, let's just use the beer, which is our token right here. Let's copy this one, and then you go to authentication, then you beer token, then you pass that token right there, and then now we can be able to delete this post. So let's go and delete that one. Now you can see post deleted. So to make sure that the post is being deleted, the last time here we are getting, so let's try to get the single post for 3. Now you can see the post is null, meaning that that post is not found now on our database. So let's get all post and see if we get it here. Then get all posts, and then now you can see we have 1, 2, and then 4. So the 3 one has been deleted successfully. So this is working fine now, and what we need to do next is just an intermediate approach that you may want to use to show, let's say you want to get even the details of the user who has posted the post. So to get the details of the user, for the moment now, what you need to do, you need just to add the relationship between the user and the post. So we can define that relationship right now in the post right here. You can just say function user. You can just say this. You can just say return this, and then belongs to user, which is our model, and then we can just say class. So here the foreign key for us, it is user ID. Okay, so this will help us to get the details of the user. So now if we go back here and get a post, let's say here you want to get the post, you can just add here with, and then you can just define your relationship here. So this is the relations that you have on your table. So right now, if we are going to get a single post like this one, so let's use this post number 1, and then if we try to get it, now you can see we'll have the details of the post, and you also will have the details of the user. So now you can just have the relationship between the post and the details of the user that have posted the post. But at a certain point, you want to be able to, let's say, to change this naming of your fields. Let's say you want to change this instead of being created at or updated at, let's say you want to change this one to be let's say posting date, this one updating date. Okay, so to do that, we are going to use something called the resources, and from the resources you'll be able to update that one. But before going to that concept, because that is an intermediate level concept for API development, I just want to make sure that also the comment and the likes are working fine. So to be able to do that, what we need to do Yeah, what we need to do, let me just add the fillable on a comment right here. Simply because on comment we are going to have the post ID, and we have the user ID, and also we have the comment. So let's have something like that. And also on the like model, we are going to have the post ID and the user ID. So only that. Okay. So after adding that way, what you need to do right now, the user should be able to add a comment on a certain post. So to do that, what we need to do, we need to, let's say, create the controller for that. So let's create that controller. So we are going to say, let me just edit it right here. So we're going to call it comment controller. Okay. So let's go to that controller, which is right here. And then here we need to define a function, post comment, and this one should be accepting a request. So down here we need to be able to add the comment. So I'll just use simple way right here, which is on add a new post. So we need first to validate that data. Okay, then import this one, which is facade, this one. So here we are going to have the post ID that is required, and then also we need to get the user ID, and basically the user ID can be filled automatically, simply because we are going to get the user ID of the logged in user. So here we need to pass the comment, so we don't need to pass here the user ID. So, and this one post ID will be an integer, and the comment should be a string, right? So then this one I think should work now. So let's add it right here. And basically for the someone to update the post to add the comment, need to be logged in. So here we can just say comment, and then we can just add the post route here, and we can just say comment, and here we can add the comment controller, and then we are going to call the function, which is our function right here, which is post comment. Then let's add it right here. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to go to our client right here, and then adding post, or the posting of post comment right here. So say add comment, and here it should be a post, and then comment. I think that one is fine. Let me confirm. So that is post, comment, and then the user should be logged in. So to do that, let's add the BR token. So let's copy this one, and then go to BR, and then add that one. And then what we need to do next, let's see if the validation is working. So right now we can see post ID and the comment are required. So here we need to pass the post ID, and then the comment that we want to comment is going to be here. So here we can add the post comment for post 1, and then we are going to say like, okay, nice post, it it is much informative. Okay, and then you can just add here the emoji. I don't know if it will work. Yep, so it is working. So let's add that one, and then let's try to save. Okay, so that one is working fine. So now what we need to do is just to have a way to add that one to our database. So let me just simplify this one by copying one of the thing that we've done already here on adding post. So we need to copy this one and then paste it right there, and then here it should be comment. Okay, make sure to import that one, and then here we are going to have the user ID. No, I think that one should be post ID, which will be coming from the request, which will be post ID. Okay, and then the comment, so here it will be comment, and then this one should be comment also. Then the user ID will be the current user ID, and then post, say comment added is successful. Okay, so now let's try to do this in a real way and see the comment in our database. And now let's send that one. Now you can see comment added is successful. Let's see in our database what we have right now, fresh. And now let's go to comments right here. And now you can see we have the comment, right? So we can just add another one for the post 2 maybe. And then you can just say nice post. This is all wrong. Let's add that one. And then let's send. Now the post is added is successful. Let's see. Now you can see it is here, and you can see the post ID is 2. Okay, so here post is 1, and this one is post 2, and the poster is just the first user. So now we need to find a way to show the comment when a user will be accessing a certain post. We can just show all of its comments. So on a single post, we need to add the comment. So to do that, you need to add the relationship between the post and the comment. So doing that, let's go to post model. Here, as we've defined the relationship with the user, let's add the relationship with the comment. So here we are going to say comment, and then this one should be belonging to comment, and then the user ID. I think this one is fine. And now we need to accept this one on when we are fetching a single post. So here we've defined this relationship, so add the other one, which will be comment. Okay, and now if we try to retrieve a single comment or a single post, I mean, like this way, let's say post 1, then you access it. Now you can see post 1, you can see user, and then you can see it has 1 comment. Okay, now you can manipulate it in any way that you want. Let's say you can even count the amount of posts, so you can just do it in whatever way that you want. But to add more functionality on your API, later on I'm going to show you how to use the resources. The resources help you to format the response that your user is going to see. But by returning this way, meaning that it will return the response in a way that Laravel will return it. But as you can see now, the response will look always like this way. But if you want to customize it to look in a way that it fits your requirement, by using the concept of resources, it will be very easier for you even to add more and more things. And actually, in resources, you can even discard this way of adding the relationships. So you can just call something that you want directly from the resource and not from the relationship. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But for now, let's complete with the likes. So the likes, let's put that. I mean the controller for the likes. So let's put that one. So likes controller, and in likes controller, what I'm going to do, because we are just going to create a like, so I'll just copy this one. And then let me paste it right here. Let's import this one, which is our facade. And then here we are going to have the like post. And then this should be post ID. And then here it should be actually that way, simply because we don't need any other field here. The user ID will be populated automatically from right here. So we can just remove this one. And then this one should be called like, which is our model here. And remember to import this one. So import it right here. Okay. And then this one will save successful. Then you can just say post like the successful. Okay. And then now what we need to do is try to like a certain comment. So before that, you need add that endpoint right here. So here we can just say like, and then here we can say likes controller. And then here just call this function, which is called like post. So after that, let's visit this one. So let's create that request. So we can just say like post. And here we need the authentication. So let's copy this one. Okay. And then what we need to provide the post ID. So let's go back here and provide the post ID that we want to like. So here we just say we want to like the post number 1, and then send. Now you can see post like the successful, and then what we can say again. And actually the user cannot like the post twice, so you can see yep, it has gone there. But what we can do right here, we can just say, in order for us to be able to prevent the user from liking the same post twice, what we can do, we can just say, okay, we can try to check before inserting this to our database. We can just check here. We can just say user like the post before. So here we are just going to fetch look for this user. So we are going to say user ID, which is equal to auth user then ID. Also where post ID post ID yeah, so meaning that we are going to check for the user ID and the post ID. The meaning of and right here for keeping the two where condition right here, meaning that we are going to look if the user exists and the post that the user liked exists, meaning that we are going to check for the if you go here to the likes, let's say from the likes right here, meaning that if this row contains the user ID and the post ID of the same, and if you wanted to create another one, if that condition is met, we do not need to repeat the same thing like this one. Okay, so what we need to do after fetching this data, if this one will be true, if this one will be true, what we need to do, we need to return a response, and that response we will return it to the user and say message, let's say you cannot like a post twicely, okay, twice, okay, and this one should be in brackets. So let me copy that one and then paste it here, and then I think this one is fine now. And then here you can just put else as, and if you like, and then that one will be fine. So if you put it inside there, and then if we try to like it again, you can see you cannot like the a post twice. If we change it to post 2, now you can see post liked is successful. Send it again, you can see you cannot like a post twice. So this has added the post likes. So now if we go back here, you can see there's another one which is different. So here we can just delete this one simply because it's a duplicate of that one. So this is how actually we added the likes. So now when we fetch a single post, we can be able to even see the likes of that a certain post. So let's go back to the post model and add the relationship with the likes model. So let's copy that one and then say like likes, and then here you can just call the like model, and then here we are going to say post ID, and here it's actually the post ID. Okay, so now we need to get that one. We need to add it right here. Now let's go to our Thunder client and get a single post right here. And then if we send and then you see the result here, now we can see we have the user, we have comment, which is null, and also we have the likes, which is null. So here we have the user ID 1 and the post 1. Okay, so I think this one is because of what I've added right here, which is post ID. So let's change it to be user ID, and here user ID. Now let's see. Okay, so now it works fine. Now we can see we have the comment right here, and here we have the likes. So now we just need to count these likes. So this is why I've said, like, okay, so we are going to say, okay, this post have 8 comments, and then these are the comments. And here we can say this like have, let's say, 100 likes, and these are the peoples that like this comment. So to be able to do that, what we can do, we can just use the resources. So that is the last part that we are going to look today. Let me try to create a single resource, but for the other thing, we can just look it on another video. So for today's, I'm going to create just a single resource for showing the single post. So let's do that one very quickly. In other controllers, I'm not going to work again. So let me just create a single resource. So PHP @ make resource, and then I'm going to say single post resource. Okay, so this will create the resource for us. So the resources are stored on the app, then HTTP, then you will find the directory called the resources. Then if you open this one, now you can see you have something like this. So we are going to update this one to have the details that we want to see on our post. So we are going to update this later on. So let me show you that one very quickly. So I'll remove this one. This one will be the first approach that you are going to use, but the new approach that I'm going to show you right now is this one. So let's start by editing right here. And as you remember, this is when I said, like, you can try to, let's say, change the way the response being returned. So for example, right here, you can see you need to change, like, say, you need to change the way this field is returned. So from the response, this is actually a simplest way to do. So what we're gonna do here will enable you to do that thing. So here, for example, the first ID, the first column that I want to return will be the ID. So I just name that way, and then here I'm going to say this, and then ID. Okay, and then the second field will be the title. So I just say, I want to say, like, okay, this will be not title, will be post title. So here I'm going to pass the title, right? Okay, so yeah, so I forgot one thing right here. So this should be inside the array. Okay, so it should be inside the array. So let's cut that one and then paste it inside here. say this way, then terminate that one. Okay, and then we are going to have the content. So here on the content, I'm going to say post content, but you can leave the way you want. For me, I'll just change that one just to show you the powerful resources. Okay, then let's see, we have the user ID. So here, instead of having the user ID like this way, I'm going to change this one to be the author. Okay, author ID maybe. Okay, and then the created art, instead of being the created art, just say this should be published art. Okay, so that's the simplest way to do that. And then say updated, or you can just say last update, and then this should be updated art. Okay, so up to now we can be able to return the post. Okay, so to be able to return the user and the other details, we are just going to add them down here, but for now I just want to return this one. So to do this, I just want to show you that very quickly how you are going to do that one. Yep, so we are going to do something like this. So let's go back to the controller, and then I'm going to comment this one, and then I'm going to say post will be equal to basically we need to get the single post resource. Okay, and then we are going to say collection, and then from that collection we are going to get the post that we want. So simply because we were able to use this one, so we can just pass it right here, and then if you terminate that one and then try to get a single post. Okay, map into, so okay, this one should be okay. What we can do here, we can just say post, which we can enable this one, and then here we can just say post data. Now let's see. Okay, so still we are getting the same result right here. So let's see what we can do with that one. Okay, so by using this collection, I think this one is causing us the issue right here, simply because it gives the error that we are trying to map this post model, which is not possible to map it into the collection. So what we can do, we can just create the like the object to this one, and then remove this one, and basically remain with this one. So I think this one will work. Yep, and then let's see. Yep, so this is working fine. Now you can see publish that, plus the update, post content, post title, then ID, author ID. Now you can see we've been able to update this look of the post. Now you can go to post 3 maybe. Okay, so here yep, because post 3 is not there, let's go to post 4. Now you can see it is working fine. So what we need to do, we need to add the user, the author. So here I'm just going to call author, and then instead of adding the relationship here, what I can just do, I can just go to user model directly and call and find the user from this one. So we can just say user ID. Okay. And now if I go back and fetch a single post, now you can see the author will return me the details of the user, simply because I've just called this directly from the resource. So from the resource, you can just get all the details concerning this post by just knowing the what relationship they have. So you don't need to pass the relationship directly like this way. Okay, so this is just a simple and direct way that you can use to do anything that you want. So let's say, for example, we need to add the comments. So what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna call the comment model and find the post ID. So we're going to say post ID. So here is just an ID, which is a post ID. And then let's see what we have. Then this has no comment. Let's go to 1. Now you can see it has this one comment. Okay. Yeah, so this is working fine actually. And then what if we want to count the number of comments? So we can just say, okay, so we have the comments, but we need to know the comments count. So to do that, and we can just say, okay, so let's do this way, and then you can just say count, right? And then let's see what we have. Comment count, we have 2. Okay, so here we need to specify the ID, simply because this is a post ID, so we need to say post ID, and here is not find ID, because this one is an ID of the post, not the ID of the comment. So here also we need to use the where and not the find, simply because this one is for the post, so post ID, and then here we are going to get. Okay, yep, so this one should work fine now. Yep, so now you can see 1, and here you can see 1, right? So now we can also get the count of the likes. So we can just say likes count. So here we can just say like, and then here we need to say post and also the user ID. So to do that, we need to add the another where right here. Then user ID will be equal to this user ID. Okay, so this will get us the likes ID, likes count. So let's see, Now likes count, we just have 1, and this is okay. So to finish up with the deploying part of Laravel 11 API, we are going to do some updates considering application right here. So what I'm going to do, I'll go and create a subdomain for this application in my hosting server. Uh, for now, I'm using hosting as my service provider for hosting my application. So I'm going to show you how we are going to do that. So I'll go step by step. So let me log in to my, let's say to my hosting dashboard. Yep. So now you can see this is my hosting dashboard. Okay. So for you to be able to create an account, you need to buy the hosting plan for your application, and you need to get, let's say, uh, let me just show you this thing, because you guys, you need to be able to buy your new let's say domain. You need to have the hosting plan. So let me remove this one. Okay, so for you to be able to have the hosting plan for hosting your application, you can visit this link, which I'll put it on my video description actually. And then when you come here, you can see there is a different plan for your hosting, which is the shared hosting basically. But you can also buy the VPS if you want. But for me, I'm using shared hosting. So there is this some of the plans, as you can see. So you can use any of these. But for me, I've used this first one package, as you can see, and each package has different options or different features that it includes. So here you can see all the features that is included on the certain plan. And for instance, let's go to the first plan. And now you can see on this plan, you can see you are getting 100 websites. You get managed WordPress hosting, 100 GB SSD storage, hosting website builder, free domain. You are getting free email, unlimited free SSL certificate. You are getting dedicated API address, a starter WooCommerce if you're building a WooCommerce application. You can do weekly backup, and here you can see all the features that is included on this plan. You can see there is a lot of features that I think for you to be able to work on your hosting, it is very important. And they basically you can see there is 40 PHP workers. You can see you can create 300 databases. You can do Git access, multiple PHP versions. You can manage different versions of PHP for your applications and all of that stuff. So if you want to buy any of this plan, you can see there is more plans here. You can see this is premium. You can have the business one. You can have the cloud startup, as you can see. So guys, if you want to buy any of these hosting plan, I recommend you guys to visit, to use my referral URL that I've provided on my last video, the previous video, that is this one. So let me show you the video. So on this video that I've shared the listen tree, as you can see, here on my video description, when you come here, I've provided this. If you want to get a 20% discount of your hosting plan, let's say you want to buy this plan, which right now you can see you need to pay this amount per month. But if you want to get a 20% discount, you just use this link. So copy it from here up to here, and then go to a page of your browser, and then paste it. When you will paste it and hit enter, you will be redirected to the same home page, which is dashboard. But you can see here it will say the referral code is this one. Okay, so please guys, use this one to get a 20% discount. And when you will scroll down and see the hosting plan right here, and when you decided to, let's say, to choose this plan, when you will choose this plan right here, you will see it will be going to the shopping cart of your hosting, and you can see it says premium web hosting, and here the period is 48, but you can change it to 1 month, 12 month, 24 month, and so on. But here on the subtotal, you can see plan discount is this one, and you can see 20% of referral discount is included. So you can just change this one, let's say, to 12 month, and now you can see, yeah, so you get a 20% discount. Yeah, so now you can see the amount that you need to pay is a little bit slow. I mean a little bit low than the amount that you are supposed to pay. So for now, you will just pay a $28.7 instead of paying this 143. So this is just important for you guys. If you find this useful, just please use this referral code right here, and it will help you to get the hosting plan with affordable price. So after saying so, what we need to do, we need to come back here in our dashboard, and then create a subdomain for our application. So let me go to my websites right here. And now I want to go to my domain right here, which is my main domain. And then from here, I want to go to the domains, then subdomain. So right here, I want to create a new subdomain that we are going to host our API. So I'm going to call it Laravel 11 API. And then I will click create. This will create this new subdomain in our on our main domain. So let's click create. And now you can see subdomain created is successful. And now you can see the subdomain will be appearing down here, as you can see. Okay, so now what we need to do, let's go back to the main menu. And then if you go to websites, now we expect to see here the new subdomain, which is right here. Okay. After that, what we need to do, we need to be able to go to our website file manager, so that we can be able to upload our application files. So right now, if we go to file manager right here, and then what you will see, the file manager of your application. So let me see right here. Now you can see I've hosted some of the other applications up here, as you can see this one, and also this one, which was on my last video, which is 16 days ago. So you can just see that one. But if you go inside the public underscore HTML, now you can see we have this directory, which is a new subdomain that we've created from here. Okay, so you can see this is our subdomain, and if you go inside it, you will just only see this default .php file, which you can open it, and you will see its code. But actually, we don't need this code. Basically, we are just here to upload our new application. So I'll just delete this one. So let me delete this one. Okay, so now this one is clear. So what we need to do before you upload all your application files right here, I've explained this on this video. I've explained this, and I think if you have not visited this video, it's better for you to be able to be here before joining me to this video. So that will help you to understand what I'm going to do right now. But in simple terms, it's in a simple way, you are supposed to upload all your files here. But because we are having the subdomain right here, all the public directory files which are found on our public directory right here, we are going to upload it right here, and then all other files that all other directories, including the app up to down here, we are going to upload them on another directory which will be created right here. So here we are going to create a new directory which we are going to call it let's say Laravel 11 API. So this will be the directory where we are going to upload all other directories except the public key directory. So this is important for you guys to explain, to understand this, because if you go wrong there, the application will not work for you. So what you are supposed to do after making sure that you've created this directory, and we created this outside the public HTML, public underscore HTML, is only for the security reason. If you put all your Laravel 11 application directories here or code, you'll be exposing your code to the public or to the internet. So that is security-wise is not advisable. So simply because we have done that, so our API code will be stored here. So before you start to upload your application, you need to understand that now the public code which is found right here, meaning that I'm talking about this index.php file, which identify that the storage of your application is found on this path. As you can see, that is the path, and here you can see that it is saying like the autoload is found on this path. But now, simply because we have created a subdomain and all our application directory, including the vendor, the storage, and the bootstrap, all these files will not be stored in public underscore HTML or inside here. So we need to tell our Laravel application from here on the index.php file that now our application vendor will be stored here. So this to be able to for our application to be able to understand that, you need to tell it. So to tell that, you need to create a new path right here in order for your application to understand that path. So I've already explained this on my video right here. So just visit there and you can understand what I'm trying to say. So what I'll do here, I just add the path that is supposed to be added there to understand the new file structure. So here I'm going to add a / and add 2 dots. Then I'm going to add another slash, and then what I'm going to say, the new directory that we've created, it is outside here, which is this one. So I'm going to copy the name, then cancel that one, and then I'm going to pass that name right here, and then this will be for all other paths here. So here we are going to put it here and also there, and then I'm going to paste, and now this is the path that we need to tell our application now that our application will be running on this path. Okay, so this is where you are going to find the bootstrap, the vendor, and also the storage. So this is all which is required on your index.php file. The next thing we are supposed to update on our application is on our provider. So go to app service provider, which is found right here. And here we need to say like, okay, right now our public path is not found on the public underscore HTML. So we need to tell it that it is one step in toward this directory, which is Laravel 11 API. So we need to tell that application should find the public key files inside here. So to do that, let's go back here and update this one. So let me just show you. Okay, so here I'm going to paste this code, and now what we are going to do, we are just going to say the public path, which is this one, as you can see from here. The public path for our app right now will be directed not from public key underscore HTML, but it will be stored on our new directory, which is let's go back here and see. The name of our new directory is this one. So let me copy this one. And then we are going to pass it right here. Okay. So after adding this, meaning that we have changed the index.php will be situated right here. Okay. So that is our new path that we are supposed to actually reference our new public directory. So after doing that, what we are supposed to do is just to recreate the autoload for our application, simply because that changes is done. What we need to do next, we need to update the database configurations right here. So we need to go back to our dashboard and create the new database. So let's go here and go to databases, and then we need to create a new database. So the database name will be Laravel API. Okay, then the user can be, let me just reuse the same username, and then for the password, I'm going to use my password. So okay, so that one will create a new database, which is this one. So let me copy this database name, and then I'm going to update right here. So the database name will be this one, and the user of our database will be this one. So I'll update that one also. For the password, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to update it. After updating it successful, then we are going to be able to upload our files to the server. So let me just pause this one. So now I've updated the password on my .env file. So what we are going to do next, we are going to say PHP @ optimize, but this one will give us an error because the configuration for the database is actually not for the local. So I don't think if this will run, but the important command that you need to run here is to create the new autoload. So we are going to dump the autoload and it will generate the new autoload. So let's try again, and let me just stop this one. Let me kill that terminal, and then let me clear this one. And then here we need to say composer auto load, then dump. Okay, so let me see what I've messed up. Okay, so I've messed up with that command. It is composer autoload, and then this will generate the new autoload, which will include the new changes that we've done. So it will include this change, and it will include the change that we've done on your app service provider. So after generating the new autoload, then we can be able to upload our application files to the server. So let's wait for this to generate autoload, and then we are going to continue that one. Okay, so now you can see the autoload that is optimized that has been generated successful, and as you can see, it contains this number of classes. So now our application is ready for us to be able to upload it on our directory right here. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to go to the directory where the files are there. So let's go to our application, which is right here. And then what you need to do, we need to zip this directory except the public. So zip all other files. So what we can do, we can just Control A and then accept the public. And then what you can do, you can just compress this. So I'm using WinRAR, so you can just use any compress that you want to use. So I just use that one and then zip. Now let's wait for it to zip the files. Directory is right here. So we are supposed to upload this one to our server. So let's upload it right here. So upload and then file, and then let's go to the htdocs of our XAMPP, and then right here, then here, and then our code right here. And then let's wait for it to be uploaded. So let me pause the video and then it will be complete, then we'll continue. Right, so now you can see the code that we've uploaded is being uploaded here successful. So what you need to do, we need to extract this code. So let's just highlight it and then go here to the extract, and then we need to extract them inside this directory. So then here I'll just put dot, meaning that all the files should be inside this directory. But if you want to keep it on other directories rather than inside this one, so you can just specify the name of the directory right here. So I'll just keep a dot, and then I'll say extract, and then this will extract all my file that were on zip file to inside here. So if now I go here, you can see all the files excluding the public directory will be found here. Okay, so this is how we have uploaded that easy. And then let's go back here, and then we don't need this anymore, so let's delete that one. Okay, so now we need to go inside the public, then the Laravel API. So here we are supposed to upload the public directory files. So we need to upload these files. So let's go back here and then go to upload, I mean the public, and then we need to upload these files. So let's just copy these files, and then let's go to the here and then paste. Now you can see all the files will be uploaded right here. So now if you can see, this is found on that path. So let's close this one. And now what you can do in order for you to be able to test if your application API is running, know that the application is running on this subdomain. So let me just show you the subdomain, and you can test it on yourself. So this is our subdomain, and basically if you want to test it, you can just copy this path. So I'll just copy that one, and then let's go to our terminal, I mean the Thunder client that we have been used it before. So right here, as you can see, we can just go to the collection and then go to our API, and then I'm going to create a new request, and then I'm going to say hosted. Let me just keep it in a, let's say, a more organized way. So here I'm going to create a new directory, and then I'm going to say the hosted API, and then inside the hosted API I'm going to create the new request. Let me just create the new request right here, and then I'm going to say This is for the register for our user. So the path, we need to paste that one. Remember to add this API/API before accessing any path. So remember our path was the register, which was the one for registering our users, and then the method is supposed to be post. And now what we can do, let's try to and this one should start with HTTPS, simply because my application is online and is running on the HTTPS server. So from here, we can be able to register a new user. And remember, on our database, we have not yet created the exact database. So let me just export our database right here. So let me start my server. Then let me go to xampp.php, I mean the PHP my admin. Okay, so after being able to come here, this is our database that we have created and used it on the last video. So you can see here we are having the details that we have before. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to truncate all of these tables. So I'm going to empty all of the tables. So let me just empty the comment. I'm going to empty the likes. I'm going to empty the post. Okay, so this one we need to say and uncheck that one, and then empty. Then users also, I'm going to empty that one. Okay, so now these have datas, but I think that does not affect anything on a new, let's say, yeah, you can even empty them in order for consistency. So let me just empty them. Yeah, and we are emptying them because we need to have the new and fresh Laravel API. So this will be our database. So what we need to do, I'll just export this database. And then export. So the database will be created right here, will be exported right here. So we need to import this database to our Laravel API application that we have here. So let's go to databases. And then this is our Laravel API database. Let's enter to PHP my admin. Yeah, so this is our database. Now you can see it does not have any data or any table. So let's import the database right here. So let's go to the downloads and then Laravel 11 API, then import. Then we need to import. And then now you can see this is our database right now. So now if we go here to the client and then let's try to register, let's see if the application is running. So let's click send. Now you can see it says these fields are required, and as you can see, this is coming from our server, which is a hosted server. So now what we can do, we can just try to add the name here and register a new user. So the user will be Shadrach. The email can be shadrach@gmail.com. And then for the password, we can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you will not confirm the password, after that one will give you another error. So if you say send, and now you can see the password field confirmation does not match. So you're supposed to confirm your password. So password underscore confirmation, and repeat the password. And then if we click send, now you can see our user has been successful been created. And now if we go to our online database, which is this one, and if you go to users, now you can see we have this new user that we have created right here. Okay, and if you go to personal access tokens, you will see the token that you have created, which is this one. So from there, you can be able to repeat the same procedure for creating all other stuffs that we had on here. You can repeat it on yourself. So for now, I'll just try to create a new post, only that, and then the other thing, you can just do it on yourself. And this application API will be available for 2 weeks, as I've said. So you guys, you can be able to work and play around with it. And then after that time, I'll just remove it from my server. So if you find any challenge, we can just use this one and we can do anything that you want. And after that, you can we can remove that one. So let me try another one for creating a new post. So let's create the new request right here. And then we can say new post. Okay. And then let's use the same URL that we had from here. Okay, so then the method should be post, and then now you are supposed to provide here the BR token, because that one requires you to be logged in. So let's copy that one and then paste it right here, and then let's try to send this request. Okay, so this path is not found because we've not provided the path here. So what is the route that we are supposed to add there? Create post, it should be this one. Remove this one and then send. Now you can see the title and the content of your post is required. So you are supposed to add those parameters right here. So we need to provide the title. Then you can say post 1. Then the content should be content for post 1, and then send. Now you can see post has added successful. So let's go to our database, which is online right here. And then if you go to posts, now you can see we have this new post. So that is basically working fine. You can just try any of the anything that you want to access, and also you can even do this on your let's say anything that you want to do. You can use it on your mobile application. You can use it on your front-end application like React.js. You can just use this API and it will be available right now. So I'd just like to say thank you to you guys for reaching this end of the tutorial. And if you are new to my channel, consider to subscribe, like my videos, share them, and if you find any issue that is facing you, just comment. And even if you can check me on my contact that I've provided in my channel, that will be fine. So thank you, and see you on the next video, where I'll show you to create Laravel API in the advanced way, and we are going to use JWT, which is the JSON Web Token, and that is the most recommended approach for you to secure your Laravel API endpoints. So I'm going to give you the other more advanced tips and advanced ways that you can use to create the stunning API. So thank you, and see you on the next video.